Hey guys, this is Zero City here. Welcome back to another episode of Let Me Analyze You. Today will be what is that? Hey guys, this is Zero City here. Welcome back to episode 3 of Let Me Analyze You, a series where we focus on key mistakes made by the user that sent in the replay. Today we have Marvel on Joanna, playing in Infernal Shrines, and we'll jump straight into it and look at the key mistakes that have led to this loss. So please remember that these players are very brave to send in their replays, so please don't make any disparaging comments about them. Now here he's trying to 1v on some Gazlo turrets, which is never smart to do as Joanna because you deal no damage. And right here he taps when he's around 200 HP. Now on Infernal Shrines you're always team fighting the enemy team. If you're at mid team fight with very low health, you can head back here, tap, and still be able to fight. So a smart play here would be to save the tap and do something like Zerodal. And what Zerodal is doing here is he's hearthstoning back so that he can restore to full health, and he can actually save his fountain here. If I click on him, then his fountain is not on cooldown. Now when we enter the fight here, it's really important to take a look at the hero you're playing, take a look at the enemy team comp, and think, what is my role in this team fight? So if I was him in this team fight, if I look at how much damage I have a Zerodal, an Asmodan that sort of does a bit of damage, and a Leoric that does not much damage, but we have to count him because people think he's OP. Now as Joanna, you always want to enter from a flank angle, like somewhere down here or behind them, so that you're not expected. A lot of the time, if you're just going to run straight through them, they will just focus a lot of damage onto you and you'll fall. And without having any follow-up, then dying is really pointless. So we can see here, he takes a front angle and tries to catch a few of his a few of the enemy. Zerodal up here is trying to finish off the Raynor, but doesn't manage to. And with this much HP on a Joanna, 400, and with that much HP on the enemy team, there is no way that you'll be going in again. But for some reason, Marvel decides it's alright to just walk straight in from a front angle, pull them in, and we'll just get focused down and die. Now, not much follow-up is actually given back. Gazlo managed to get picked up, but a lot of the team is left on half health, and that's because the targets aren't being finished, aren't being focused, and no follow-up is actually happening. So you can see the Immortals lost there, and a lot of them, like I said, are low health. So if the team fight went well, a lot of the time you could have been able to get the kill. Now he comes back in and tries to get a pick off, but no one on his team is actually following them up, which is, it's normal in solo queue because, you know, you're not communicating, you're not a professional team, you don't know what's happening. Managed to pick off Tyron here, which is great, and now they have an Immortal to deal with. So we'll skip to the next mistake and we will comment on that as well. Okay, so if we look here and we analyze what's happening so far, we have Zerodal, which is not there yet, and Zerodal in this comp is our damage. As Joanna, you always want someone to follow you up because you barely do any damage, and if you have no one following you up, then that's your cue to fall back. So the way you want to play it is you always want to make sure you have a follow-up. So if I was looking at how the Joanna is playing here, we can see from her angle that she's going in, but then from her camera angle it might not be easily visible that you have no follow-up, which is why I would use the spacebar. So the spacebar centers the screen on you, so you have a great view of everything around you. And as a warrior, you always want to assess the situation and see what's happening. So here we have the enemy team engaging. Leoric falls, and Marvel is way too deep here with no follow-up and just drops. Okay, so the map Infernal Shrines is quite a unique map in my opinion, as these Punishers actually don't do a whole lot of damage to forts. So if I look at the Punisher's damage, it's 140, and if we consider maps like Battlefield of Eternity, those immortals do a lot more to turrets. These Punishers, I would call them CC machines. An easy way to take them down is see how it just leaped there? If you were standing behind the gate, it would leap over the gate. Once it's leaped over the gate, it is under fort fire, which can really help you take down that 16k HP bar. And it's not as hard to do as Joanna because you have that unstoppable shield which can actually prevent the stun and prevent you from dying. So it's always smart to bait out the immortal to take it down quicker. Okay, so just picture you lost the fight at the shrine and the enemy captured a Punisher. Now, if you were to retreat to behind your turret line with Joanna, pop your D and just wait for it to jump, which it's not. If I stand much closer, then it will jump. There it is, and you are able to bait it through the turret line much easier. And the fort fire really helps with it, and it is actually able to not even grab. Oh, it managed to grab one turret. Now in Heroes of the Storm, you basically have one resource, if I was to make it simple, which is experience. If we look up the top here, we can see that the blue team is level 15 and the red team is level 12. So you can just say to yourself, the blue team's ahead here. In other MOBAs, you have gold, experience, items, kills, which do account for their strength, and you might not be able to assess whether or not you're ahead or not in those games. But in Heroes of the Storm, it's fairly simple. And here we have 2 in the mid, and actually 3 are pushing bottom. Now, in order to come back from a behind situation, you need to get picks, because these kills actually equate for a lot more XP than if you were equal level, since Heroes of the Storm has this comeback mechanic. So we can see here, watch the replay, and we can see no commitment was made to Kale here. Joanna does have her Blessed Shield up, she could have just thrown that out, and the Kale could have been blown up, along with Tyron maybe. And these 3 players at bottom are just pushing, yet no punishment is being made. So just look at your minimap, and if the fight is in your favor, even though you're behind, you can easily get a pick, and that can actually jump you up an entire level and put you back at about a 1 level difference. Now, there are a lot of mistakes in this game that were made which could have been fixed up. Also, the draft could have been a bit better. And thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe and share. Also, send me a replay and look in the description for a guide on how to send a replay, and I assure you that you will learn a lot from me analyzing your replay. Thanks.